The death of Eliza Lam. Eliza Lam was last seen on January 31, 2013, in the lobby of the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. She was vacationing through the West Coast, documenting the trip on her blog, and checking in with her parents every day. On January 31, those calls stopped. Lam had vanished. Soon the police were involved, and her parents arrived to help with the search. They had nothing. That February, LAPD released elevator surveillance footage of Lam before her disappearance. The footage shows Lam behaving strangely in the elevator, appearing to talk with invisible people, peering around the corner of the door, crouching in the corner, and opening and closing the door. But what exactly is going on in this video raises more questions than answers. Theories range from psychotic episodes to demonic possession to unknown assailants just out of the camera's view. Around that time, hotel guests reported weird things happening with the Cecil Hotel water supply. As CNN reports, "The shower was awful," said Sabina Bao, who spent 8 days there during the investigation. "When you turned the tap on, the water was coming black first for 2 seconds, and then it was going back to normal. The tap water tasted horrible," Bao said. "It had a very funny, sweety, disgusting taste. It's a very strange taste. I can barely describe it. But for a week they never complained. We never thought anything of it," she said. "We thought it was just the way it was here." On the morning of February 19, a hotel employee climbed to the roof and used a ladder to investigate the hotel's water storage tanks. That's where authorities found the decomposing, naked body of Lam, whose personal items were found nearby. After an autopsy, her death was labeled accidental. NBC Los Angeles reported at the time about the strange circumstances in the hotel's past. The tank has a metal latch that can be opened, but authorities said access to the roof is secured with an alarm and lock. The single-room occupancy hotel has an unusual history. Night stalker Richard Ramirez, who was found guilty of 14 slayings in the 1980s, lived on the 14th floor for several months in 1985. And international serial killer Jack Unterweger is suspected of murdering 3 prostitutes during the time he lived here in 1991. He killed himself in jail in 1994. In 1962, a female occupant jumped out of one of the hotel's windows, killing herself and a pedestrian on whom she landed. In February 2021, a Netflix doc called Crime Scene: The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel explored Eliza's tragic case and the history of the cursed Cecil Hotel. The hotel was located in the heart of the city, known for its luxurious rooms and stunning views. But despite its grandeur, there was a dark mystery lurking beneath the surface. Over the years, there had been several suicides in the hotel. Guests had jumped from their rooms, unable to bear the weight of their own lives any longer. Some had left behind notes explaining their reasons, while others had taken their secrets to the grave. Despite the hotel's best efforts to cover up the suicides, rumors began to circulate. Guests whispered to each other about the strange occurrences they had witnessed. The sound of footsteps in empty hallways. The feeling of being watched in their rooms. The sudden chill that seemed to permeate the air. But the hotel staff continued to deny that anything was amiss. They insisted that their guests were safe and that there was no reason to be concerned. One day, a young woman checked into the hotel She seemed nervous and withdrawn, and the staff noted that she didn't leave her room for several days. When they finally went to check on her, they found that she had taken her own life. The staff was horrified. They had failed to notice the signs of her distress and had been unable to prevent her tragic end. But as they began to clean up the room, they noticed something strange. The woman's reflection was still visible in the mirror. At first, they thought it was a trick of the light. But as they moved around the room, they realized that no matter where they stood, the woman's reflection remained in the mirror. It was as if her spirit had been trapped there, unable to move on to the next life. From that day on, the hotel was known as a place of death and despair. Guests reported feeling the weight of the suicides that had occurred there, and some even claimed to have seen the spirits of the departed wandering the halls. The hotel staff tried their best to keep up appearances, but they knew that something was deeply wrong. And as the years went on, the suicides continued, leaving behind a trail of shattered lives and haunted memories. Today the hotel still stands, a monument to the tragic souls who have passed through its doors. But for those who enter, they must be prepared to face the ghosts of the past and the horrors that lurk in the shadows of its halls.